on the show today, we have somebody I've been watching for a while in the UFC. Somebody that I always like. You always root for him. He has a killer smile and is known for it. He's a badass in the octagon. Great dad. Just all around positive dude. Originally from Wisconsin, training out of South California. On today's show, none other than Sam Alvey. Sam, the man with, is it the best smile in the UFC at this point, or is that right to say?
It gets notable mention if it's not number one.
That's awesome. I saw recently on your Instagram you going with Darren Till, going a little hard on him because he commented on your smile.
Oh, it was just so random. It was out of nowhere. He said, "Oh, he doesn't brush his teeth," or he was something cute, funny, and whatever. So I had to respond. The UFC fighters very rarely ever comment to me, and I always wish they would.
That's so funny, man. So one of I knew about you before, but I forget what fight it was that you were on. That they were doing what's it called, the embeds, kind of like the 24/7 things.
Okay,
and I think you were on there. There was something about you and your character on that I was like, man, this guy is such a likable dude. like how can you not root for this guy as a person? You know what I mean? And then so I was scrolling through your Instagram. That seems to be like your optimism and your positivity and all that stuff really does kind of like stand out. Is that effortless to you? Have you always been that person?
I was smiling Sam before I ever started fighting. I was a happy guy. Had great parents, great family. I love my dogs. Now I am a parent of some great kids. My wife is hot. I get to fight whenever I want to fight. Life is good. I've always been a Christian, very much. Have God in my corner, and I know that the worst the world could do to me, He's got my back. So there's not much for me to complain about.
Is that hard? Do you think that's hard for fighters to kind of have that mentality at all times? It seems like fighters really always they get so into the details and like the whole process and who they're fighting and whether they bring a negative energy or not. Like, is it a hard thing for a fighter, you think?
I think it's probably a hard thing for most everybody, whether they're a fighter or not a fighter. Life can get hard, and it's hard to. It's easy to focus on the negative and hard to realize how much good there is. So I try and make every day about the good, not so much about the bad.
So tell me about how many kids do you have?
I have 5 kids, as you can probably hear. One of them's in 2nd grade, then kindergarten. So it's 7, 6, 4, 1, and 1.
Wow. Yeah. So I have an 11-year-old boy and a 7-year-old boy, and and they go to school and at the house for 3 of the 5 days. It is chaos. So like trying to do anything with the noise is very difficult. But so you recently you have an adopted daughter, is that right? That's officially
officially she's been an Alvey from day one, but legally she's an Alvey now. It took about 22 months for it to happen, but she's an official Alvey. I'm busy right now, buddy. I don't need any butts. I go deal with it.
Is that something that you and your wife always pursued, or is how did that come about?
Yes, kind of. We were trying to adopt a child for a long time, and we got a lot of money into it, but it didn't quite work itself out, and we ended up going the fostering route.
Okay, so you fostered her for a bit, and then...
Yeah, we fostered her for about 22 months, and COVID hit, and that slowed everything up. But we did everything we could to get her as fast as we could.
That's awesome, man. So that you guys seem very happy in the photos together with the baby and everything. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. I just love this little one. She's just wonderful.
So where are you based out of now? You're originally from Wisconsin. Are you still in that area, or?
No, I've been in Southern California for the last almost 11 years.
Oh, okay.
I've been down there with Dan Henderson's Team Quest. for a long time now. And I'm getting ready to move to Tennessee.
Really? I feel like everybody's leaving California.
California is a sinking ship. What a crap hole to live in. Pardon my language. No, just a terrible state. Lot of good people in this state, but overall the state's just a sinking wreck. So
is that the reason you're moving?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons. Yeah, I don't like the climate here all that much either. It's too hot. I'm a ginger. If I go outside, I burn. So I would like to go somewhere where there's a little bit more shade, a cloud every now and then. It'd be real nice. And that's kind of what we're doing. We just closed on a nice property in Tennessee, and now we're slowly making our way out there. I'll still be camping here. Okay. So I'll still do all my camps with Dan Hendo and the team because it really is the best team in the country. But I'll be living somewhere else most of the time.
Okay, so yeah, just make sure you don't come over to Philly because we've had such crap weather for so long. It's this year has been rough, man. We are looking forward to the sunny days. So I'm envious of where you're at now. So are you like about 6 weeks away from your fight?
Yeah, I'm about 6 weeks away, and we're just getting ready. My weight's doing well. I've started fasting. I've never done that before, but I got bigger going up to 205, and now going back down to 85 is harder than I would have thought. So I've started putting some fasting in there. I'm fasting about 24 hours once a week, and it's not that hard. It's more of an annoyance. But when I'm done with it, I get to eat, and my weight's lower.
My wife's into intermittent fasting. I want to eat almost like as soon as I wake up, so I usually don't do that. But she does get me like once a month. She's like, all right, we're gonna do a fast this Thursday, so I'll do the 24-hour fast. It's actually kind of nice, right? It's kind of like almost like rewarding not to have to worry about food, not to have to worry about anything, and it feels kind of nice to reset, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna agree. I kind of hate the whole 24 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I like eating too much, but it's not. It needs to be done. I need to lose the weight, and it's short. I like eating. If I'm awake, I want to eat something. And the 24-hour, it's just 24 hours. It's just done with. I don't have to do it every day.
Right. So, what made you want to go down in weight from 205?
I couldn't win a God-blessed decision at light heavyweight. I mean, I know the judging in MMA is about as bad as any sport could ever be, but I'm honestly starting to think that it's because I was the smaller fighter. They assumed, well, the other guy was bigger. He must have won. So I'll go drop back down and be a big middleweight again. And I think maybe if it's going to go to decision, maybe I'll get the bad decision.
So the last couple of fights, right? So you're coming off of a couple losses. And right now you're going down in weight. What's the kind of what's your expectations for this next fight? Like, how do you see it going in your head in a perfect case?
I'm gonna kill him. I mean, it's that there's a 50-50 shot he doesn't make it back to the locker room after the fight. I am going in there with no plan on winning, no plan on. I'm gonna kill this man, and it's a shame because he's a super nice guy. I got to talk to him once or twice. Zach Cummings is an amazing person, and he just drew the short card getting put up with me on my way back down to middleweight. It's a fight I need to win, and I'm going to win this fight.
What's the plan? You win this fight, you want to string together a couple more wins, and then start calling out some of the top 5 guys again and getting in that mix?
I preemptively called out Darren Till here recently. I got to win 3 fights, and then it's Till. So that's my goal. I'll come up with who the 3 fights are, but I'll get one more. Probably one more unranked fighter. Then I'll start calling out a ranked guy, and then Till will be right in there.
What is it about Till that attracts you? Is it his fighting style, or is it?
No, it is completely that he responded to me on Instagram. I think I've met him once. He's a super nice guy, very very enjoyable. He's very caring. I like fighting my friends. I've always said that, and I don't know him, but I've met him, and so I'll say we're friends. Why not? I think it'd be a fun fight. I always wanted to fight Bisping before. But then he retired, and he's the champ and all that. I never got the opportunity. So I guess Till will be the next best thing.
Love it. So I think he's supposed to be on that same card. Is he not? Is he the main guy in that card?
Is he?
I mean, that's what
I actually don't know who's on my card. I think Mike Perry is on my card, but I hadn't heard Till yet.
Well, so I mean, based on what I've dug up, because it's not on the, it's not, I don't think it's listed in the UFC site. It seems like him and Vittori are listed on there. Now, this could be just one of those things that people put up there, but but that would be a perfect case scenario, wouldn't it be, for you to be on the same card as him?
Yeah, and I trained with Marvin every now and then too, so no, that'd be perfect.
How did you feel about Vittori's last fight?
Oh, what a good fight. It was kind of short notice. He went out there, just looked like an animal. He looked unbeatable that last fight. I'd always kind of questioned his cardio for 5 rounds, but he went out there, he never slowed down. His pace was constant. I mean, it was a good fight, but it was a good dominant win for him.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought he looked great, and he was one of those, like, he had been pushing for big fights for a while and kind of calling people out and hoping that he would get kind of that perfect matchup. So it worked in his favor to get that last minute call, and he put on a show. So that was great.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to his fight versus Till. That's kind of on the horizon. I think that's my favorite fight that I see coming up.
Love it. I agree. So how many fights have you had with the UFC at this point?
I've had 20 fights. My next one will be my 21st.
How does it feel to be that much of a vet in what I feel like the UFC now is taking such a quick, growing kind of pace with the people who don't know the sport too much? How do you feel to be in there for 20 fights?
It's pretty cool. And I heard something. It's like 3% of everybody who's ever fought in the UFC has ever made it to 20 fights with them. So it feels very cool to be one of those elite guys that have been there. I wish my last couple fights had been gone a little differently, but I'm very honored that they saw something in me to give me that one more shot.
So going backwards just a tad, you were in Bellator before the UFC, correct?
Yes.
And going farther back, did you used to play trumpet too?
Yeah, I played trumpet for a long time, close to 20 years.
Tell me about that. Is that something you still do, or?
I still have it hanging on my wall. I toot on it every now and then. I'm not half the player I used to be. I used to be able to play for hours, but now it's like minutes before my lips burn out. No, it's just I was always into something. I was never into athletics, but trumpet worked itself out, and I played semi-professionally. So that meant other people in the band got paid, but I never did. It was a lot of fun. I would have kept playing, but they didn't pay me, and MMA started paying me a little bit.
So at one, kind of growing up and getting into that, at one point, were you wanting to be a musician and a fighter at one point, and then you have to make a choice?
No, it was never. I never really wanted to be a musician. It was just something I did. I really enjoyed doing it. I was going to school, so I'll keep doing it. And then fighting happened, and I just didn't have enough time to practice both. So I had more fun fighting, and fighting had some sort of future that I could see myself doing. So that's the route I went.
So you said you grew up with a great family, loving parents and everything. Was anybody else into fighting in the family?
No, I never watched fighting. I was probably 6-1 as a professional before I ever saw a UFC or heard of UFC. I didn't know anything about it. It was just something. It was fun to do. Someone offered me a spot to fight in a cage. I said, okay. I fought one time out of the cage and I lost. So I'm 0-1 in the street. No, it's just I lost my debut as an amateur. Then after that, I went on an 11-fight tear. I turned professional somewhere in there. I didn't start training until after my professional debut. And I just was doing it because I had a good time with it.
So what made you step into a gym for the first time? What was the one moment that you were like, I got to check this. I got to try this.
And some guy said, hey, you want to fight? I said, okay. And that was literally it. I mean, there was
so you never even went to like a gym to like learn jiu-jitsu or learn nothing?
The first gym I ever went into for MMA, I started because some king in the cage said they'd pay me like $200 if I fought for him. So I should probably train for this. I started a gym in Wisconsin. Ran that gym for about 4 years. And it was great. Had a good time up there, made up everything that we did, and our team was very successful. It was my wife said, hey, you need to really focus on this if it's something you're good at. So she found Team Quest. She moved me out here, and then I didn't know who Dan Henderson was until I met him.
Wow.
Yeah, no, fighting was not in my future in any which way. It was not a goal growing up. It wasn't anything. It was just I had a good time with it, and turned out that it was something worth doing.
Are you a fight watcher? Like, are you a fan of the sport now as a
Yeah.
spectator too?
It's my second favorite sport. I'm still a bigger football fan, but I'm just not very good at football. Yeah, I love watching it. I understand it very well. I coach. I mean, I still coach. I started my first gym. I'm still one of the head coaches at Hendo's gym now. So I understand the sport. I watch every weekend I can. It's almost as good background noise as a baseball game, where you can watch and then do something else and then watch again, and just have a good time with fights on at any time.
I agree. So you and your wife really, really close, kind of like a good team. It seems like she's a big part of your career.
Yeah, she was, at the beginning of it, it was just a free ticket if I said she was my corner. And so she was my corner. And then she took it way more serious than I ever did. I mean, she learned, she wraps hands, she does everything. She now manages me. She's my chief corner and has been every fight. We've had my entire career has been after she and I met. And she took it a lot more serious than I did before I did.
That's awesome, man. That's not that's not heard of often, except Mike Perry, who's trying to do the same thing with his.
Mike Perry's copying me. My girl has pregnant, I don't know, like a dozen times. She actually, when I fought Eric Spicely, she was due 2 weeks after that fight. Yeah. It was like we had to lie to the airport and say, no, she's due in 6 months or something. But she looked like she is. So she flew out there. She cornered me. She flew back. It was just, yeah. So Mike Perry's girlfriend might be pregnant now, but she isn't half as pregnant as my wife was.
All right. So he didn't start anything new. He didn't start any new trends.
Nothing new. Nothing new.
That's hilarious. So you're ready for this fight. Is there anything different that you're going to be bringing to the table? I know you're going to, you're going in there for the secure, for sure win. But is there anything that you've been doing different in training?
That
you can share?
The diet. The diet's the big change. I'm going back down. And it feels good. My cardio is better than it's been in a long time. My walk around weight's good. I'm feeling healthy. I'm just, the diet's the big change this time.
Awesome. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you taking the time. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and we can't wait to see you fight.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on, my friend.
Thank you.